Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uplifting Your Heart Light. Today, we've got a fabulous episode coming up for you. We had a throw-in last week, a little bit of a surprise for me, and I thought I should do the same for Barry, but I won't. I will stick to what we're going to be chatting about today, which is ownership, taking ownership of yourself and owning yourself, really owning it. But firstly, I'd love to introduce Barry, my co-host, and then we'll kick off today's episode. Hey, Barry, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Deb. How are you doing today?
Really great, thank you. I've actually got the window open, so I hope there's not too much noise for everyone. It's just such a glorious day and a beautiful day to run this episode.
Any day is a great day to have a podcast episode and have a conversation about making life changes. Like Deb said, today we're going to talk about owning yourself. Benefits of that, what it means, what it does to help you be a model for your children when you own yourself. And we can have that conversation today because of the conversations and podcasts we've had leading up to this event, where you're getting to know yourself, creating an awareness in yourself, validation of your own experiences. Because the only way you get to own yourself is you have to know yourself. So that's the first part of this, and that's hopefully you know yourself a lot better than before you started this journey. And you're excited about getting to know yourself at an even deeper level yet. So now when we talk about owning yourself, Deb, what comes to your mind when we say, like, what does it mean to own yourself?
To own myself for me is to really take responsibility for the decisions and the actions and the things that I do in my life. Because one of the things that I've found is that if you leave it up to everyone else to make your decisions and to run your life, then I would have no control. So for me to own myself, firstly, I think, as you were saying, it's to really know yourself. So it's a real important thing that we did in our first episode in this particular series, is to follow through and really get to know yourself, because it's the only way you can actually take ownership, because that's where you realize perhaps you're not making the decisions that you should on your own. And some of the things that happen in your life, you're not taking that responsibility, or the actions you take. So I think it's really important to firstly know yourself. And once you do that, then you understand that through what you do and the way that you run your life is really taking that ownership. That's initially what I think of is when we talk about owning yourself.
Great points. Great way to look at it. Because you're absolutely right. That's where it all begins. And accountability is such a huge part of this. When we first started talking about designing this podcast series and decided to include owning yourself in this, one of the things that came to my mind was thinking about how kids and adults will tease other people. Now, it's easy to tease somebody when they're self-conscious about their looks or some of their quirks. Good word for that. And we're self-conscious. We don't really own it ourselves. We don't accept ourselves. So we think we're different if someone teases us about how we look in that. Now, in essence, when we feel bad or feel like we're being judged, we're giving all our power away to the other person. But if you flip that and you take ownership and say, yes, I know you're teasing me. Maybe my ears aren't proportionate, or my nose isn't proportionate, or I'm too short for my weight. Like whatever you want to pick on, or I'm too tall for my weight. Whatever somebody wants to comment to you on, if you own it, own everything about you, and totally accept yourself, you take all the power away from everybody else Sure, they can still comment. Sure, they can still have fun, but it's not going to have any impact on you. You'll may take it in stride. Maybe you'll get it. If you get offended by it, you're not owning it yet. But if you just let them have it, saying, hey, say whatever your heart desires. I know who I am. I know what I look like. I know this is my body. I know I am not going to go out and change it because you don't like part of it. This is me. And I'm more than just what you see. I'm a real person with a real heart and a real soul and a real spirit, and so much about me that you'll never get to know with that attitude. So I like just taking all that ownership. Take that power away from everybody when you just own yourself completely.
I love that. What you were saying is to really take ownership of it. Be proud of every aspect of yourself, because within you there is so much value. And that's what you've got to source, the value that you have inside, because believe me, it outranks anyone else when you use it well. And to know that, wow, why would anyone want to criticize or put down or say ugly things and think, about others? I mean, what type of person would do that type of thing? That type of person doesn't have ownership of themselves. They certainly don't know themselves, or they would certainly look at themselves and say, wow, I'm a little bit nasty or things. So really take a look at yourself and know who you are, and to know that you're a good person. You are a great person, actually. And so love every aspect of you, because that has is the makeup of who you are. That's who you are. That's who made you who you are. And take ownership of it. Wow. Stand up and say, I am me. This is me. I love it.
Absolutely. I love that too. That is so empowering.
Mm.
People who don't see you for who you are probably aren't people that you want to have in your life all the time anyway. You know, that's where you start talking about your boundaries. What will you tolerate? What won't you tolerate? You have your boundaries to protect yourself, for your own self-respect, your own self-confidence. And when you honor your boundaries, you don't give anyone else the choice but to honor your boundaries, because your boundaries are there to protect you. Now, we're going to get way more involved in boundaries in another session coming up in the future. But right now, it's just highlighting the fact that you need to have your boundaries in place. It's part of your ownership. It's part of your protection. Take it deeper. So it's not just go beyond your looks. Start talking about your experiences, your skills, your traits, your quirks, your idiosyncrasies. Own all of it. Whatever experience you've had, that's helped make you who you are today. Mm. And even if you don't like who you are today or think that you can be better, today you can be the best version of yourself by owning yourself. And then you know it, you own it, you understand what you've been through and how that's going to help you going forward to become who you really want to be. But every step along the way, it's owning yourself.
Perhaps if you do struggle a little bit to go, well, how do I, what do I need to do? Just look at those things in yourself, and you can set goals for what you want for you. Because once you know yourself and you want to take ownership of the things that you do in your life and no longer leave the decision making and the control up to someone else, and you want to take that responsibility, that's where you need to step up and start making little goals, little things that you can do and you can achieve to get there. Because it's all about the actions we take and the decisions we make that will really allow us to move forward, to grow. And this is what it's all about, being able to uplift yourself, really uplift that heart light and be the best version of you. And that is what ownership is all about. That's what your responsibility is to you. So I really love what you were saying, Barry.
I like how you brought goals into it. Because part of that, owning yourself, own your goals, own your dreams. Don't let anyone take anything away from your dreams, whether you want to be an astronaut or a model or an actor or
A
a
pastry
diva,
chef.
pastry chef. Pick whatever you want to do. If that's your goal, that's your dream. Don't let anyone take any of that away from you. Just like when we commented out, people tease you about your looks, they'll tease you about your dreams and your goals. People have a tendency to try and keep you at their level. Don't. They have a tendency of trying to dull your shine. Don't let it happen.
Mm.
Let yourself shine. Let yourself have your dreams. Live the life that you can imagine yourself living. Own it completely. The more you own it, the more comfortable you're going to be with yourself. You're going to be comfortable with your choices and your actions because you're going to say, yeah, I did it. Nope, maybe it didn't turn out the way you imagined. You say, yeah, but at least I tried and I can try again. And I can learn from that and I can adjust it and modify it. It's my mistake to make. And I'm not going to learn unless I make those mistakes. It's just part of the journey. It's part of the growth, but you just own it. People can say whatever they want. When you own it all, it will have zero impact on you. That's the beauty of this. I mean, you can be at such peace with your life and at such comfort level with who you are when you take complete ownership of yourself.
Absolutely, Barry. One of the things that I like about what you were saying, then I think it's really important, is to not allow anything that doesn't work out to put you back or to take you backwards. Really look at that as a path that perhaps you were meant to choose because there's a reason behind it. Because you've got through so much in your life, particularly to get to the point you are now. We all have challenges that we've gone through, yet we've made it through. And and as the things I guess we don't want to know is there's going to be a lot more. But that's what gives the flavor to life. It gives the color. Because each time you get through, and each time I tell you, you'll have a new color to bring into that rainbow. And it's such a really beautiful feeling to really know that you're going to get there. You will get there. But you have to go through these trials and these tribulations to be able to know how fantastic you are. And why? I don't know why we have to go through those, but we do. So don't think of it as a setback. Think of it as the next qualification. And you're getting there and you're doing it. And it doesn't matter how much study you need to do to get through that one. Keep going because you can get through anything. You just have to believe in yourself. And you're doing that by knowing yourself and taking ownership of it and say, wow, it's really a matter of the way that we think of things, the way that we think of that particular thing that perhaps doesn't work out. Don't think it's your fault. Don't even blame anyone else, because now that you're taking ownership, you won't. But just look at it as that little bit of a pebble, a step, a big rock, or even a mountain that you think you may have to climb, that you've been given. You have been given that for a reason. So just get through it. And it's amazing. You'll be able to look back at those things one time and go, when I went through it at the time, I never thought that I would. But you did, and you'll do it again.
I love how you phrase that and the words that you used. You know, changing your language, qualifiers instead of setbacks. Yeah. Very unique. I love that. Like, there's so much gold here.
Yeah.
You know, even when it comes to your own healing journey, that's your journey. If any of your past experiences created some trauma in your life, or you have deep-seated grief, that's all things that you need to heal on your time, on your journey, at your speed. Own it. Don't let anyone say, well, it's been 6 months, you should get over it now, start moving on with your life. When you're ready to, you will. You own that. Again, just like everything else, when you own it, no one can make you feel bad for your choices.
Mm.
Own yourself going forward through every stage of life, whether it's healing, growing, dreaming, living, trying new things, whatever it is, just own it. It is one of those things that you will thank yourself for it over and over and over again. Eventually. Maybe not today. And maybe you will thank yourself today because do one thing that you didn't think you could do. And you go, oh, wow. I just surprised myself. Didn't know I had it in me. I just learned something new. What else can I learn? If I could do that, maybe I can do this.
Exactly. As Barry said, there is no time to it, but I think it's really important that you do really look at the valued people around you that maybe that you can talk to. And this I do find is where it can be very difficult when you don't have a person like that. Somebody that you can rely on. Sometimes we think we have these close friends that listen to us, and then what happens? You know, a month down the track or something, they've either turned it round back on you or they've taken it the wrong way, and it's all sorts of things. So really, I think to own yourself is to also really recognize value in your life and who those value are. And so if you're stuck in a situation where you think, but okay, I have no one. I actually have no one. That's where I say really reach out to a support group or a coach. It is just so important because there is someone out there and someone of value and someone that can help you through. Because sometimes we do not have those support people around us. And to be able to allow yourself to talk about your needs and your wants and things that are going on in your life, that is so much value. And that's taking ownership as well by being able to express, by being able to allow yourself to talk about the things that are going on in your life and to be able to share all your experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, it doesn't matter what it is. But that in itself is really taking ownership, because that is part of your growth. That is part of your well-being, to be able to not communicate so much in your head about things, because boy, oh boy, we can have the strangest conversations. So sometimes learn to talk to others. It's amazing what you can be able to learn even a little bit more. So always reach out as well. Don't ever think you're alone, because you're not. There is always someone out there for you.
Excellent point, Deb. Yeah. Owning yourself doesn't mean going alone.
Hmm.
Surrounding yourself with people that support your journey and your growth accelerates our ability to get there and enhances our life. We need a tribe.
Hmm.
As tough as we think we are, as strong as we think we are, we still need a tribe. We need some support in our life. Knowing yourself and owning yourself, you know your limitations. You know what you can and can't do. And you know when you should be asking for help. Because when you ask for help, because for some people, it's a very hard thing to do. So when you ask for help, you know you actually need it. You've done all you can do with your skills and experience and physical abilities that you have right now. And this is the point where we need to have some help.
My apology.
But all right. Now you know this is live, right? So it doesn't take anything away from who you are. Owning your limitations is just part of owning yourself. Getting help is just part of owning yourself, saying, yeah, I can't do this. A really great example, which just came to mind right now, even in this podcast series, if I tried to do this on my own, it would not have the same impact or effect and reach the same audience as it does with Deb and I partnering to do this podcast and bringing our perspectives and our experience and our skills and our knowledge and our quirks and perspectives to this podcast to make it a little bit, to put some more life in it.
That's so true, Barry. And I think too, the reason for that is because we both have different perspectives and we both have different areas of ownership. Whilst we own ourselves, there's things that you own that I think, it doesn't happen to me. I don't need to take ownership of that. But the fact is, it's really lovely to be able to hear even the same thing through different eyes. And I think that's an important thing to remember, is that the things that you're going through, and this is where it is great to be able to talk to somebody, because it's really interesting to see what they see through their eyes if you have something that you need to talk about. And to be able to perhaps get a little bit of assistance on help or whatever. So it is really good to be able to, as Barry said, getting your own tribe is a fabulous thing, having supportive people around you. And it's great. So that's where we find, I'd have to agree with you totally, Barry. This on its own, I need to have someone to be able to reflect on, to be able to talk to, and this is where we're a great team with uplifting your heart light. And I love everybody that's listening, and the feedback that we're getting from it as well, because again, they are more perspectives that allow us to see how you the audience thinks about it as well. So it's a really great thing to take that ownership and include people.
So, as we start bringing this episode to a close, I'm going to trust that anyone who watches this podcast sees that Deb and I both take ownership of who we are, what we say, our actions do match our words. You know, we're not just talking the talk here, we're walking it. And we're trying to lead by example and show by example. We could not be here today doing this if we hadn't done the work to get to where we are right now. There's no way. I know I do it, and I can hear it in Deb's voice too, that some of what we talk about, we have such a way of making it sound so easy. And that's probably just because of the fact that we've already done the work. And if I can speak for Deb, I don't think that any work that I've done wasn't worth it. I don't think it was that difficult and that insurmountable that would dissuade me from anything I've done. So any growth that we've experienced to date and all the work we've done to get to where we are today was so worth the journey that it's easy for me to make it sound easy. I've done the work already. Hopefully we're showing you what's possible when you do the work. When you uplift your heart light and start being able to look back at the work that you put in to get to there and just say, wasn't so tough. Yeah. Easier than I thought it was, or more worthwhile than I even imagined. Those are magical words. That's yes. What I'd really love to hear you say.
That's what I love, that term. It's more worthwhile. It was so worthwhile, because some of the things that we do go through, we never think we're going to get there. But and as Barry said, the reason that I think at this stage we sound it's easy, and it's only because I'm a little bit different to Barry. I think there's some things that you go through that are so damn hard you cannot understand why. And half of that is probably allowing yourself to know that it is something that you do need to go through instead of blocking it, resisting it. And that makes it a lot easier. But when you do come out the other side, and this is where I think I get so excited and passionate to really want to help. And it's because I can see the other side. I'm on the other side. And yes, I still have challenges, but boy, sometimes I actually look forward to them because of this wonderful feeling I'm going to get when I get through it. And you can't replace that. So the more that you get through these challenges and really start taking, that full ownership, it's almost like freeing. You've had to drop off everybody else because boy, oh boy, I tell you, you you have the freedom. You will have the freedom to do what you like because everything that you do in life will be yours to own. Allow yourself to make those decisions. Allow yourself to know where you want to go in life and how you want it to be. And whatever you go through, believe me, when you get there, each time it's just this more compounding feeling over and over again until you are totally uplifted. It's wonderful. Throw whatever you want at me. I love it. But yeah, great episode. Sorry, baby. Am I rambling again?
You are bringing the passion to this episode
It's
that
just
it deserves.
like, I want everyone to be, to have the wonderful feeling you can wake up with every single morning and you can go to bed with every single night.
And on
Right?
that note, we are going to say good night to our guests.
And I'll say, have a wonderful
But
day. Wonderful day, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, enjoy the fabulousness of this moment.
so keep shining, keep uplifting your heart light, and we will see you soon. Bye for now. Thanks,
Thanks so much,
Deb.
Barry. Thanks, Barry. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next time. Thanks.